Welcome back to another episode of the things I say to men are probably gonna get me murdered today. So I went for a walk on the boardwalk by my house because it's a beautiful day, it's sunny, and I wanted to get a little tan, and this was my fit that I wore. So naturally, a man who was older than my father decides to catcall me, to which I respond with, ew. He didn't like this, obviously, so then he goes, well, you wouldn't be walking around with your out like that if you didn't want a compliment. Where donde es la t-? Because I literally couldn't help myself, I went, sir, I don't even have a big enough tits for you to look at if I wanted you to, but since we're gonna sit here and talk about size, your dick would look a little bit bigger if you didn't shove 3/4 of it into your personality. Hopefully my body doesn't end up in a ditch somewhere, hee.
Yeah, guys, can I get one large order of crap that never happened? You know, these stories are absolutely beautiful, okay? Because you'll get these girls out here who will be downright offended if you approach them when you're older. And the funny part about that is, guys, like, this may be a shock to these women, but men actually prefer younger women. Now, I know that's just absolutely crazy and misogynistic, and you know what? It becomes even more crazy and misogynistic as these girls get older and as they lose the attention. But what is going on, gentlemen? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video, and on today's show, guys, we're going to be breaking down that particular TikTok as well as jumping into a few articles. And today, gentlemen, we're going to be talking about a couple of things. We're going to be talking about age for one. But before we crack into it, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord link in the description if you haven't already. And as always, guys, if you would like to support the channel, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description. It's a fantastic way to support the channel, so if you're interested in supporting the message, that's a fantastic way of doing it. But guys, we're just going to jump straight into it, and you know, we'll come back to the TikToks in a second, but I just wanted to quickly open up today's discussion with this article right here. Now, guys, be sure to leave comments as we go through this stuff and what your thoughts are. But we're just going to handle this first article here pertaining to the TikTok that we just watched. It is titled, "Getting Hit On by Gross Old Men is So Bewildering to Me." Do they really think I'd ever have fun with them? I recently got hit on by a man at a bar for the first time in my life. I'm 24, but this was the first time I'd ever been to a bar alone without a giant group of friends. Anyway, this guy starts talking to me and I naively respond because he lives in a city I used to live in and I have nothing else to do since I'm at the hotel alone for the night. I thought I was just having a nice platonic conversation with a stranger. Stupid, I know, but like I said, I don't have experience with this at all. You see, this is something that girls will admit, by the way, when it benefits them. Okay, so let's just run this scenario super real quick that I'm sure a lot of you have been in. You've had a girlfriend or something like that and you've said to her, hey, I don't like it when you talk to other guys, or I don't like it when you make new guy friends, or something like that. And she'll say, "Oh, this is silly. They're just talking to me. They're just friends." You see, she knows that they're not friends. You see, look, she knows that people who talk to her are not just interested in being friends. But you see, what they'll do is they'll brush it off as, you know, because it's something that benefits them, keeping their options open, they'll play it off as if it's nothing. But when it doesn't benefit them and it makes them look bad, then they'll say, oh, he's gross, he just wants to have bedroom fun. You see how that works, guys? Very interesting. And, you know, for all this talk about girls complaining about being gaslit and stuff like that, I mean, it's very interesting to see some obvious gaslighting going on every 2 seconds towards men. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, of course, he begins to get flirty and comes up with an excuse for getting my number, and I refuse him. He then comes up with more excuses how it'd be safer since we're traveling the same direction the next day in case I get a flat tire or something. I once again refuse and say I'm perfectly capable of handling any situation on my own. He responds with, oh, independent, I like that. I get up to leave and he says, see you later, cowgirl. Ew. The rest of the night, I just couldn't get over the fact that this fat, ugly guy in his 30s or 40s, which, by the way, 30s or 40s isn't even that old. Like, a lot of guys get to this age, and, like, this is the kind of age where, you know, you can have a good amount of experience, or you can get your life together really. Like, guys can hit their stride in these ages, so let's just point that out real quick. Thought he had... Ugly, wait, look at this. Fat, ugly guy in his 30s or 40s thought he had some kind of chance with me, a pretty young woman in graduate school. Wow, guys, just can you she's showing the ego a bit much, don't you think? Like, for all these guys, all these girls saying that you know, these guys are ugly and it's terrible that they think that they're entitled. You know, it's kind of crazy that the way that they describe themselves as if they're God's gift to the earth. Right? And you see, this is something that kind of throws a spanner in modern day relationships, okay? Because it is very difficult to have a relationship with a girl that thinks like this. Okay, because the fact of the matter is she's always going to be looking out for the next better option. You see, girls will come to resent guys slowly over the course of a relationship, thinking that they can do better because of the amount of attention that they get. This is why simps and coquetry is such a big issue at the moment, okay? Let's continue. He also said something about, it's okay, I'm not looking for a sugar baby. I just laughed because I doubt he's rich at all, and I'd never be a sugar baby. Okay, that's a bit of a cap, I'd say there, but listen about this, right? I just laughed because I doubt he's rich. Girls have this kind of sense, guys. They really do. They'll recognize your fake Rolex. They'll know what's going on. A lot of relationships, gentlemen, are not really based on love, unfortunately. You see, we as guys, we're sold the love idea. Hell, we're sold the love idea at every opportunity. But a lot of the times, guys, it either comes down to bank account, or it comes down to being attractive, or it comes down to validation, or a combination of all three. Okay, so, just be careful with that. But, we're going to jump into today's second TikTok momentarily here, guys, as I set it up. But my goodness, right? Like, these girls feeling insulted when they're getting hit on is just the craziest thing. Because you know what upsets them even more, gentlemen? It's not being hit on. It's actually having the attention removed. But let's jump into this TikTok right here. And I'm going to switch over the screen and take a look at this, gentlemen. I'm going to bump up the volume. And we got just a beautiful case of what 2021 looks like.
This is why men, especially straight cisgendered white men, are so incredibly fragile. Historically speaking, in patriarchal systems, when women piss off men, they are putting themselves in life-threatening danger, which leads to women having to tone police themselves as a defense mechanism. Consciously or otherwise, women go out of their way to either withhold criticism from men or to deliver it as gently as possible, which results in an entire society of men that don't even realize that they expect to be coddled by the women in their lives. And so when rightly receiving criticism or anger from women, men tend to react like toddlers. So gentlemen, shut up, toughen up, and listen to and acknowledge the reality of the lived experience of women. Because it shouldn't take a straight-passing, cisgendered white man telling you this for you to listen.
Absolutely beautiful arguments put forward here by Sid the Sloth. But anyway, right, guys, what we I try to not make personal attacks on people's appearances and stuff like that. But my goodness, guys, some of the goodness me, I already got the YouTube police sirens in the distance. But gentlemen, we're going to go through this guy's arguments and kind of break them apart here, because a lot of this is just absolute bullcrap. And it's good to see people make arguments like that so that we can kind of go through them and point it out. So make sure to leave a comment as we go through, gentlemen. It's really sad to see as well that people will open up their arguments by predicating their argument on the basis of, gender or sex, gender and, gender and ethnicity, while at the same time, these exact same people will claim that they don't want to be judged by those two things. It's the double standard is absolutely beautiful. You see, these people are allowed to give out criticism on the basis of gender and ethnicity, but they can't take it themselves. It's really something else. But guys, let's jump straight in and we'll kind of pull it apart piece by piece, and feel free to leave comments as we go through. I've turned off the volume. Okay.
Straight cisgendered white men are so incredibly fragile. Historically speaking, in patriarchal systems, when women piss off men, they are putting themselves in life-threatening danger.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, guys. If you're a man and you upset a woman ever, you are in danger also. Okay, this is not something where only the women face social repercussions for their actions socially. That is not the case. Okay, let me ask you guys this, all right? I'll put up a hypothetical, right? Let's just say you're in high school, okay, and you got a crush on a girl, and you work up your confidence to go and talk to her. Maybe you're a bit shy with girls, as most guys are. Maybe you get anxiety with girls, as pretty much all guys get, right? And you think to yourself, well, I'm going to work up the confidence, and I'm going to go and talk to her today. Okay, so you waddle up there and you talk to her, and what she does is she just flat out dismisses you and rejects you. You ask her to the ball or whatever the hell, and she says no, and you get rejected, right? What actually happens there is you're not just being rejected by her. you're actually being rejected by a lot of people simultaneously, because what's going to happen is she's going to run and tell her friends, oh yeah, this guy's weird, right? And then all of her friends are going to talk to their guy friends and be like, oh yeah, I don't know about him. And what actually happens, guys, is as a man, if you say something incorrect or you are rejected, for example, you face all sorts of social repercussions for your actions. It's not as if this is something that applies to women. And you might say, well, Taylor, how does that harm men? Like, how does when he pointed out, he's saying that women can be removed from the planet, so to speak, if they piss off a man. Your genes will see. You will not have a family lineage if you do that one too many times as a guy. You can only move so many times, gentlemen. People are gonna think of you as the creep. Okay, so that's one such example. Second of all, let's just say you piss off a woman in any time, guys. You will always have the white knight cucks, right? And look, Exhibit A, that will come and beat you down. Okay, now in past times, whether that be physical because it wasn't legislatively prevented against, that could certainly be the case. So to pretend as though you don't risk your life back then as well for giving out criticism is beyond stupid, because men actually face tougher consequences for their incorrect social actions. Especially in 2021, guys, it's gotten to the point, right, and I'll continue the video in a moment, it's gotten to the point where if you look at a woman wrong, your advances are wrong, or anything like that, hell, you can go to jail for that kind of crap. Like, it very quickly turns into the A word. And now, am I saying that there's not the A word going around? Am I saying that those offenses aren't happening? No, of course not. Right, but what I am saying is that this whole thing that women have to be a lot more careful about their social actions is absolute BS. You as a man face a lot of social repercussions for that. And real repercussions. I'm talking fines, I'm talking jail time. I'm talking no girl wanting to speak to you again, that kind of crap. Right.
Which leads to women having to tone police themselves as a defense mechanism. Consciously or otherwise, women go out of their way to either withhold criticism from men or to deliver it as gently as possible.
Yeah, and the thing is, men aren't required to do that as well. Guys, have you tried criticizing a woman in 2021? Like, good luck to you with that. I mean, seriously, good luck. I mean, guys, YouTube is not even safe for that kind of crap. I might do a video on it at some point. Maybe we'll see how we go. But I mean, Better Bachelor is talking about leaving YouTube at the moment. Now, if you don't know who he is, fantastic channel, by the way. His channel is quite a bit more balanced than me. he takes a very I like Better Bachelor quite a lot. I feel like he has a great way of talking to people, and he a really straight up kind of guy. And the thing is, he's looking at YouTube going, well, I can't even make the videos that I make because these people can't even handle criticism. Like, that's the point where it's gotten at the moment. It is not just women that have to hold back criticism, guys. It's almost as if, right? It's almost as if you're going to face consequences of your actions no matter what. Isn't that just absolutely crazy? And the thing is, guys, I would like to say this as well. There should be an open platform for criticism. There absolutely should. Guys, I am waiting for... we've had a couple of small people kind of suck about this channel and have a cry about us over here, guys. We've had, like... smaller people kind of attack this channel. All I ask is that you tag me in the video, guys. Like, I don't care if people criticize me. I don't care if people rip stuff out of my videos. You're more than welcome to do so. Just make sure you tag me. you know what I'm saying? But to pretend as though men don't have to withhold their criticism is absolutely ridiculous. And I'd like to point this out as well before we continue, gentlemen, is if you're in some sort of family case, let's just say you've got kids involved and stuff like that, you have to be very careful about your language, because anything you say will be used against you in the court of law to try and keep your kids or your assets and stuff like that. Mainly your kids, not so much your assets, but if you display any kind of aggression or willingness to criticize, you see, this is why people will recommend when relationships break up, and let's just say like kids are on the line for custody and stuff like that, you do not talk to your wife, your ex-wife, or whatever the case may be. Okay, like, to pretend as though, I've hammered on this so many times, guys, but to pretend as though women are the only ones that have repercussions for their actions is just absolutely ridiculous.
Which results in an entire society of men that don't even realize that they expect to be coddled by the women in their lives.
And guys, I have an article to address that point that he just made there. If you didn't quite catch it, maybe you're not looking at the screen or you kind of missed that. He says that, a lot of men expect to be coddled in their lives. Now, this is something he's parroting from women because he's heard women say this. Oh, men just want a second mother or something like that. Guys, I'm going to pull up a very interesting article here to kind of illustrate a couple of points. So I'm just going to switch that back over momentarily. But this is something that you'll see incredibly common. You'll see girls say, "Oh well, he expects all of these things from me. He just wanted a second mother." Okay, now I'm going to jump into this article here and then kind of explain where I'm going with it after the fact. So it is titled, "Withholding as a Form of the A Word." Today, I want to discuss the devastating psychological A word called avoidant A word or emotional withholding. Had I been equipped with this information, my gut feeling, in brackets intuition, would have been affirmed. My former relationship was, in fact, A word due to the following reasons. My ex kept his thoughts, feelings, hopes, and dreams to himself only. My ex remained silent and aloof towards me, revealing as little as possible. My ex maintained an attitude of cool indifference. My ex repeatedly stonewalled me after I voiced my concern. He would disappear for days under the guise of under the guise of needing space. Upon coming back, my concerns were never discussed or resolved. My ex knew how to create an illusion of intimacy, sharing things that held little to no emotional importance to him. Withholding information was his way of ensuring that he stayed unattached, potentially a defense mechanism against real or perceived separation or rejection, maintaining the upper hand or control in the relationship. Now, guys, what this is you'll notice that a lot of girls will get into relationships with guys who are not emotionally available. In fact, it's almost like they are attracted to it. And you see what happens, right, is they'll get in these relationships with these guys who quite frankly have options, and these guys will say to them, "Well, I'd like you to do this." Well, they won't necessarily say it, but what they'll do is they'll do something worse than saying it, guys. They won't. Guys with options will not necessarily say, "Hey, you should be doing this." What happens is they withdraw attention from the girl if she's not doing what she wants. You see, because these girls in relationships and all that kind of thing, they'll get into an argument with you. You see, if you express a want, then what she can do is she can kind of emotionally finagle you in an argument. But you know what affects them way more, guys? It's removing the attention as a consequence. You see, if they're not behaving the way that you want, guys, I've said this on the channel before, we are not out here getting into arguments with girls. We are not out here getting into arguments with people who do not provide what needs to be provided. Okay, what you do is you simply withdraw your attention. If people are causing bullcrap in your life, guys, you don't need to. This is something that I see a lot of guys mistakenly do, and I mean this in a non-condescending way when I say it. But a lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll get themselves into trouble because they'll get into arguments with people, and you're never going to win the argument. You're never going to win the argument. What works a lot better than arguing is withdrawing your attention. Okay, because it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. But on this point, right? So what did the guy say in the video? I'm struggling to remember at the moment. Oh yeah, about the guys wanting to be coddled. Guys don't want to be coddled. Guys just want the girls to bring something to the damn table, aside from themselves. You see, girls will get into relationships and they'll think to themselves, they'll be like, "Oh, well, I want a 6-figure guy who's 6 foot and all this kind of crap," right? And so they'll get in the relationship and they'll be shocked and appalled to find that she has to do things as well. "Oh, he wants me to cook for him? Wow, he just wants a second mother. That's so insecure. Oh, he wants me to do domestic chores. Oh, that's so 1950s of him. How disgusting. Doesn't he know that I'm a strong, independent woman?" You see, what they're doing is they're getting into relationships with men who actually have standards. And I would encourage you guys to have standards as well out there. You see, I've been watching a couple of episodes of Fresh and Fit, and I think it's perfectly spot on, gentlemen. You may not like Fresh and Fit, but I think it is perfectly spot on when Myron says the way that men's standards are treated in relationships is absolute garbage. You will notice as a guy, gentlemen, if you try and voice your opinions or you try and say, "Well, I would like a girl to not be overweight," for example, you get called all sorts of names under the sun. And again, even if you say that sentence, guys, there are social repercussions for that. Okay, but let's continue with this guy's video momentarily. Alrighty, let's switch on over. Oh my goodness, don't be calling me at this hour. Okay. Alright.
And so when rightly receiving criticism or anger from women, men tend to react like toddlers. So gentlemen, shut up, toughen up, and listen to and acknowledge the reality of the lived experience of women.
Don't you love how what he does is he He brings up reality when it's beneficial to him. He's like, oh, listen to reality. But what he's doing is he's cherry-picking reality to suit his arguments. You see, he's saying, okay, well, you know, women face repercussions, dangerous repercussions for criticizing other people. And the assumption there is that by extension, men don't. Men face all sorts of repercussions. Let me tell you this, guys. You want to go out on a night on the town and maybe give out some criticism? I mean, and you're telling me that there won't be potential consequences for that? Potential dangerous consequences for that? There might be a bigger guy that just comes around and just knocks you the hell out for saying some criticism, even if it's perfectly valid. Even if your criticism is perfectly valid, that guy's probably going to floor you if he's bigger than you or he knows what he's doing. Okay, this kind of crap about, oh yeah, well, how about you acknowledge the reality of women? How about you stop using reality so selectively? Excuse me. You see, because what this guy's doing is he's cherry-picking crap. And this is, make no mistake, gentlemen, right? You know, I shouldn't have attacked this guy's appearance at the start of the video, alright? I should have just left it. But let me say this, okay? If this guy is in your friend group, men like this are inherently untrustworthy. Because what they will do is they will bend their morals, they will bend their opinions to try and please girls. That is what they'll do. And you don't have to believe me watching this video, guys. You can say, well, Taylor just invalidated himself by insulting the guy at the start. Sure. Okay, you can go out and befriend men like this if you want. But let me tell you, they are snakes in the grass. And I don't mean that in a mean way, guys. I mean that in a watch your damn back kind of way. Okay, because these are the kind of guys who, what they'll do is they'll be hanging around your girlfriend. See, what they'll do is they'll try and pretend to be friends with you. Right, they'll like fake being friends with you, and then let's just say you have a girlfriend and you break up. This guy will be there for your girlfriend and not for you, and he'll try and get in with her after you two have broken up. And the funniest part is your girl's not going to want to get with this guy because even she knows that he's just playing the ally card. Well, I'm on her side kind of card just to get in. It's absolutely ridiculous, man, that these people form their entire morality and decisions based off of getting approval from other people. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But guys, we're going to leave today's video there. As always, be sure to leave your comments and stuff below. Make sure you subscribe on your way out, or if you're new, or if you enjoyed the video. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support the channel, the link for the Patreon is below the video. It's a fantastic way to support the channel. So if you're interested in supporting the message, be sure to check out that link below somewhere. But guys, we're going to leave it there. As always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next one. Peace.